This village is actually called Faith Village. It is run by Christians, and they have a children's home. A lot of the kids that they serve are Thai, but also from other ethnic minorities. They have to work even harder to get the same opportunities as someone who would be nationally Thai. Being in the village was really interesting. There were times where I felt very in over my head. I was not used to dealing with all of the critters, scorpions. It was very hot while I was there, and for the majority of the day I didn't really use aircon, and so that also was an adjustment. But even for all of the inconvenience or the parts that were maybe challenging for me, it was so worth it to meet these people and spend time with them and to watch the sunsets and just to be in awe of God's creation. I also got connected with the church that is within the actual village. That's how I came to find out about the village, because I have been kind of helping with a church plant here in Chiang Mai. I got to visit the church there in Taton, and it was a Shan speaking church. They did the Shan language and the Thai language, so I didn't understand anything, but during worship, it just was amazing to be able to connect with God, with the body of Christ, even though there were these cultural and language barriers. In that moment, I felt that we were unified. Right outside the village, they have a coffee shop that is actually run by the church and the village, and it's very cute and it's cactus themed, and they asked me to kind of update their chalkboard wall. So I did, and it was really fun, and I had a little helper too.
Say hi.
We also got to visit a vineyard, which was really unexpected for me. Interestingly enough, this vineyard did not specialize in wine, but rather grape-related products. So there was like jams and juice and smoothies, and it was just a nice little day to get away and have some fun. I had made a few friends and they wanted to show me around their town, so I got to go to this temple. It's built on this land and it's got like 9 levels, so you just keep driving up this mountain. Each level has different idols and different things to see. And of course, visiting temples is always challenging for me, because I do acknowledge the beauty and the skill and the creativity, but I am here to share Christ and share the gospel. It was still a good experience to go visit, and probably my favorite part is just the views. the beauty that's just before us, like, oh, it was amazing, and it was cool, and the wind was blowing, and it was just gorgeous to be able to be on the mountain and look down and see different villages and see the river that runs through that province. It was just amazing. So I was asked to paint a mural by this church plant, and I was totally in over my head. I have never painted a mural. I do not consider myself a painter. I am creative. You could call me an artist, but painting is just not my medium. Feel you in my bones now. Feel you through. So when they approached me and asked me if I would design and paint something for them, I was really unsure, but eventually inspiration struck and I sketched out a design. They approved it, they loved it, and I just jumped right in. I had some help painting the yellow walls white, where they just kind of primed it for me, and that was great to have that help because this is a big wall. I think it was 26 feet long. A huge project to take on for the very first time. But once I started, it became such a labor of love. I sketched everything out and then I painted on top of it, and I had to go back and do touch-ups, and I tried to do a wash, and it was a really interesting process. It probably took me like 40 to 50 hours just to complete. I've never had a creative project that would require so much of me. Not just my creative skill, but also my physical being. I put so much sweat and muscle into this project. I was so sore, but man, it felt so good. It felt even better once it was completed. Everyone loved it, and I was really inspired from the beginning to the end of the project. Unfortunately, I did not get any footage of the finished project, but I do have some photos that I'll put in here. I'm really grateful for this opportunity to bless a local church in this way, to use this skill to serve. As far as cooking, it's just not my thing. But I did want to try to cook something Thai and make an effort to see if this is something I could do more regularly. Spoiler alert, it's not. Thai food has so many ingredients, and I would rather have somebody who's actually Thai cook for me than have to cook these things on my own. Here I will show you the process of me trying to make gang kiewan, which is green curry. It's a sweeter curry. It's coconut milk and all the spices, and it usually has like these Chinese eggplants and this special Thai pepper. It's like, I don't remember what it's called. And then of course chili peppers and meat and whatever other vegetables they put in it. It's really delicious. One of my favorite dishes in Thailand. I didn't realize how hot the stove would get, and I ended up burning the curry a little bit. So I had thought that the windows were already open, and turns out they were not. And so cooking spicy, like very fragrant food in a very hot and un-air conditioned kitchen, I started choking on the smoke and the spices. So the finished product turned out pretty good. I did like it, but I'll probably never cook it again.